First of all, thank you for inviting me, for being here. I am really proud and honored, thanks to the sponsors. Also, just a quick note, I've been in many conferences across the world, and I have to congratulate you because as little as I could understand on the panel discussion, things are really moving forward. Normally in Europe, in Spain, France, UK, when you go to this conference, everybody is they don't talk. So they are always, someone speaks and the rest are quiet. But here you can see that there is a dialogue and that's really, really interesting and very good. Okay, let's move forward. You see I have to move a lot, that's why I have this microphone. In fact, I will try to move like this so I can be with you. Everybody talks about ROI. Really? Do you know what is ROI? What does it mean? What? Return on investment. Wrong. What ROI really means is real out-of-home improvement. Yes, we are here for that reason, right? But how? How or what kind of improvement are we talking about? Because are we going to make bigger billboards, lighter, holographic? No. What we are talking about is how we are going to show to our clients, to our media buyers, how we can improve that is to show how good is our product. Provide really a benchmark to allow them to plan and to buy properly. And there is no secret. Other media have already done that. They have produced metrics, better or worse, but they produce continuous metrics to their buyers. That's why we have to do that. But there is a problem for out-of-home specific, and well, for all media, but in out-of-home is really complex. The measurements that we are doing normally in any country, not only here or in UK, is that they are expensive. They are really complex. They are somehow very limited to some specific media or types or environments. And there are a lot of politics, right? Not only in out-of-home, in any media measurement, buyers all the time discussing, because our competitors, there are competitors in the same table. So it's very tough to get an agreement. That makes things low and expensive. So what we think is that we should make a paradigm change. We have to break that barrier and make things quite different, because it's possible. How we can do that? Well, always innovation. We have to change the way that we think, and thanks to innovation, we will do it. I love this example. Remember, 1912. I was very young at that time. There was a need to keep the food cool so we can have meat across the week. We can have the food across several days. How we keep that food cool? Using ice bar. It was the highest technology at that moment. People carry the ice to your house, they deliver it, it's 3-4 days, and you put the food and you keep it cool. It was amazing and very good. But of course, there was some trouble with that. It was a centralized system, it was very slow, it was expensive and not really, really hygienic, as you can imagine. But anyway, that was the technology at the time. But there is a new innovation out there. And thanks to technology, we could have compressor, electricity, industrial process, from many things that bring us that technology. We could use a fridge. So it's amazing. It's centralized. It's distributed across the house, across all houses. It's affordable. It was fast. So thanks to technology, our need was the same. Eat, food, keep it cool. But the technology was very, very different. So that's a path of innovation. That's what we mean for a paradigm shift. Well, who is the greatest one who all the time is changing and providing an improvement? Normally, the military forces, the US Army. Those guys are all the time investing a lot of money trying to do that kind of innovation. It's sad, but that's the reality. So it has been done before. For example, the GPS. The GPS is a army technology, it's a military technology, but now we all carry a GPS here. Isn't it amazing? Or the radar. Thanks to the radar, now we have microwaves. So that means that the technology is moving to the mass from the very native way to the total population. So even internet, you all know that the internet comes from the US military, from the DARPA program. What we say is that we can use out of home, and this is not science fiction, we can use all this innovation to improve the out of home systems. But we have to do this jump, this quantum leap, this paradigm shift. So what we propose is to use satellites. Yeah, satellites, what he's saying. Yes, we have a partnership with Digital Globe. Digital Globe is the leader company in the world that owns 6 satellites. They are in the sky right now above us. They have 30 centimeters resolution. 30 centimeters, if you have a laptop, an Apple Macintosh Air, the screen is 11 inches. So from above the sky, they can see as a pixel what you have on the screen of your laptop. So, well, that's incredible. I mean, it's an amazing technology. In fact, they are on the stock exchange, and they are the ones who provide the Google Maps imaginary, the pictures of Google Maps. This company is the one who provides that. Probably all you have already checked what is your house in Google Maps and see the picture, and it's about, what, 3 years old? Well, that's the key. They only give to Google very old and low resolution images. So how fast they update information? Well, here you have 24 hours. Each orange dot is where they have been taking pictures and analyzing. The last 7 days, the last month, the last 6 months. As you can see, they take the complete world. There are no frontiers. They are all the time analyzing each surface, all the surface of the world. And that's just for example. For example, even in Africa, in a very small town, they are able to locate, identify all the village, even the count population. So all the things that you have seen in the movies, well, that kind of technology, okay? When we talk about image, you think on your Google Map picture. It's not only that. The cameras that they have, they go from infrared to ultraviolet. They are able to analyze many other things rather than a simple image on the visual spectrum. So they can even see oil leaks, they can see heat, they can see many things. So it's not an image, okay? And to prove that, who uses these satellites? 70% of the revenue of this company comes from the US Army, from NSA, FBI, CIA, all the acronyms that the US people like to use well, what all these companies use, also Apple, Bing, Microsoft, but they don't use the image, they use the data that you get from the image. It's really different. So they validate. I understood that you were talking about trust on the panel discussion. Well, imagine that your source of information is the one that you are sharing with the US Army or the FBI or the CIA. So you are not going to discuss with these guys because they use it for real purpose and a very deep knowledge. So that's one of our primary sources. That's one of the things that we want to use. Well, we are using, in fact. One good thing is that these guys have already images of a long time ago, since 2010, 2011, 2013. So that's really big data. To get an idea, the image that all the computing power that we have right now, it's even bigger than Facebook. It's bigger than 100 petabytes. So when you talk about big data, this is big data, I can tell you. So our purpose, our goal is to take the advantage of this 10,000 millions infrastructure. So we are really, really smart if we can use those technologies for our own purpose, to increase and improve the out-of-home measurement. Because with this technology, we are generating data. And from that data, we are going to create out-of-home metrics, the current metrics that we need. So we propose to use a hybrid system because right now, as you may be aware, is that there is no one single source of information that is available that will fit all our needs. We would love to do that. On the old times, with a simple survey, we could ask a person what you read, what you see, what you hear. But things have become really, really complex. And now there is not one single method that can solve all our needs as a media planners. So hybrid system, thanks to the internet and thanks to the new technologies, are the new way to do research, even from TV, even from press, and of course, for out-of-home and internet. So we use data integration. Well, how we use the satellites? Okay, I'm going to go here so I can identify better. So this is Madrid. Hey. This is one of the main areas, and each yellow dot, it's a car, identify car, that we can analyze the type of car, the speed, if it's parked, if it's moving. And you see this is the picture, but we have in one single shot the complete city, more than 20 kilometers width in one single shot. But we can have the detail narrow as street by street. So in one single shot, we have a very narrow view and the complete city. Amazing. That allows us to feed the model with that information, not only by the streets, where are the hot zones, where are the traffic jams, where is located each car, the traffic parks and traffic lots. So we feed that information to the system. And this, in fact, is a combination, but not one single shot, but many images across time. So we can really understand how the city works. And in fact, we have one amazing data, that is, we know the number of cars in one single moment that were in Madrid. 9,400, almost 1 million cars. The City Council of Madrid, they don't have a clue about that. It doesn't matter if you have traffic counts, if you have cameras, you never could expect an information like that. You have the universe of cars of 20th of April and 2014. Incredible. So it's this on the research part is really important because we have the census, we have the universe. We can extrapolate properly about the total number of vehicles in the city in one moment. In addition, it depends on the country, but we have partnership with TomTom, with Inrix, even with Yandex, to get information from their GPS devices. Not only about the iPhones and Androids mobile devices, but also in-dash navigation device, the one that you have in your car, that you may not be aware, but you are sending your signal to the headquarters, and they are sending back so they can alert you if there is a traffic jam or how to improve your route. So all this information is gathered, aggregated, and thanks to that, we can correlate and we can get the bias of all these GPS providers, because at the same time, we know where is a TomTom device, what an Inrix device, but also we have the picture and the analysis of the rest of the cars. So we can correlate the information. Also, thanks to those devices, we can analyze traffic flows, variations on time frames, difference between Monday to Friday, Saturday and Sunday, things like that. Okay, this is an example in South Africa. We are working in South Africa also, and you can see the Cape Town, Johannesburg. You can see when we drill down and go to Mandela Square, where it's a high-intensity model, there is more people here and moving here rather than and the urban area. So as you understand, we know perfectly how the city flows and moves. Let's move to another part. Let's talk about advertising. Let's talk about the contact. Traffic is not contact. Traffic is not impact. First, we have to do the visibility zone. First, we have to understand from which part a billboard that is oriented north or south will be seen. So to do that, we have created a software, a pattern software, that based on the location, the size, orientation, and the movement of the person, will analyze and will say if it's a contact or not. We take into account the optimum visibility area based on the legibility and the visual sharpness. When you go to the doctor and you put your glasses, and that kind of analysis is the one that we are using here. So if the bigger the billboard, bigger distance that can be seen. But what happens if it's very tall? If the billboard is very high, or I break my neck, or I will not be able to see it. So there is a blind area very near the billboard that will not, people near that will not be possible to see it. So this is taken into account in the software, and you can visualize here. This is the street, okay? Several streets. Blue dot is where is the billboard. The blue circle is everybody inside the circle could possibly see the billboard, and the red axis is someone who is passing there will see it properly. But if he is very near, he will not see it because it's a high billboard. But there are many other factors. Illumination, speed, if you are walking, the side of the street. If the street is very, very wide, that's the problem, yeah. Someone can hear and explain better than me. And many other factors are taken into account. All this is a matrix that it analyzes each single element. Element means the biggest billboard, but also the smaller urban furniture. All possible pieces of inventory that you can put on the map. For example, illumination. The billboards that are not illuminated will not be seen. So, but it's not the same in January than in July. There is a difference between 16 hours of daylight in July and only 8 hours in December. So it has to be measured. So the data and numbers are different if we provide them for January or for July. Other factors that are really important are geoplanning. Because thanks God, out of home is a very location based, and that will make a big difference from the rest of the media. So newspaper or magazines cannot fight against you when we are talking about proximity to point of sale, or car dealer, or bank office, or drugstore. This is really a strength. You have to combine both elements: impact, flow, earpiece, but also I want the nearest and the most and the better billboards, but near my office or near my franchise. This is your strength. As you know, there is a high correlation between impact in outdoor and buying process. So we combine all this. We do all that kind of work to help the best planning tools. And doing that, not only the points of interest, the billboards and the visibility zones, we get that kind of information. What is all this trouble about? The idea is we need to show the performance of each single billboard, one by one. Then you can combine. And our first idea was, or is in fact, to produce a very, very easy, quick way to understand it. So what are the best billboards for if you are Zara or a competitor of Zara? Or we can rank and tag billboard by billboard based on the flow, based on the variations, based on all the visibilities, all the things that I told you, and also by proximity and the flow of the people who is in one street that finally will go through that points of interest. We can tag A+, C minus. or what are the best billboards for car dealers. Also, we can, and they are not the same. The best ones, that also is very good for the industry. I mean, the best ones not are the best ones for everything. They have different colors. So what are the best ones for fashion, or for luxury, or for gyms, or for healthy, or for anything? Is really, there are many possible ways to sell out of home. And also very simple ways to express that information in a simple Excel file. Of course, we have amazing softwares and media planning tools and programmatic and everything, but we need to do the foundation very good. We need to have a very simple way to say, I need 30 or 100 billboards. What are the best for my client? I need it right now. So this tool should provide this, should help it this way. But of course, and we are in advanced industry, there are some enhancements that you are very used because other media are using that. So if we add to all the current information, we do a survey, a standard survey, so we can get the demographics, we can get the pedestrian, we can get that information, we will enhance all that, especially the transit usage, because that information, we don't have it from the satellites. Probably one of you already think, are you counting people from the satellites? No, we are not allowed to do that. Allowed, okay? We are only counting cars. So all this information comes from the survey. With that, we do GRPs, target GRPs, OTS, reach, duplication analysis, all things that you will expect on any media planning with a tool, with any other media, as TV or press. So with a complete different, this is like the food example, with a complete different technology, the output, your need for food, will be satisfied. It's exactly the same. We provide GRPs, targets, impacts, frequencies, anything, the standards. If you have any doubt about this approach, we have meta validation test. In Madrid, we have on our current system, 3,000 people carrying a small GPS during at least 2 weeks. We have cross-validated this survey with our new methodology using the satellites, image satellites, the model, all this. And you can see the comparison between one methodology and other methodology. Of course, they are not exactly the same, but they correlate very well. And most important, not panel by panel, but you don't sell or you don't buy one panel, right? You buy at least 100, 300, 1,000. Here you can see different package with the number of frames of panels, 235, 68, 1,700, so big and small packages. This is the reach that we get with the methodology using only satellites, and this is the reach that we get using an old-fashioned survey. Why we don't use GPS survey, by the way? Because it's very expensive and very slow. For example, in UK, they have spent about £20 million doing this GPS survey. Do you have £20 million? Or no? It will be very interesting if you have it. But you don't. We have to look ways to make things much cheaper and faster and more accurate. That's why we're using satellites. So here you can see that the difference are really very small. 68.9, 68.2. The biggest difference is what? Here, 14.5, 15.7, 88, 90. So the important thing is that with complete different methodologies, we get very consistent results. We can compare. And finally, the important thing, you will take the same decision. You will buy package A from company 1, or you will buy package B from company 2. With different methodologies, you will get exactly the same decision, and you will select and do the same plan. But in a very, and that's important, in a very much cheaper way, in a very much updated way, and a very much cool way, by the way. And the good thing is that it's really, really comparable across different cities. So there are advantages using this hybrid system. And the most, as I told you, the most important one is that it's cost effective, really cost effective. So from spending millions and millions of pounds with an oil survey during years. We can have very quick, very fast results, update them, constantly update them, and for a fraction of that cost. So the idea, I like to imagine that even the Spanish system, the US system, the UK system are really handcraft. They are tailored. They are fit completely their needs. But when you go to the tailor, it's more expensive than going to Zara, right? So from a handcraft system, from a tailor-made system, we are moving to an industrial process. We are moving from the tailor to Zara or H&M or whatever you like, Stradivarius. So what we get a really consistent, coherent, and really affordable system. Really affordable. And reliable, because it's a replica. And the sources are really transparent. I mean, we are using satellite, we cannot be biased because it's the same technology that CIA is using. And other really interesting thing is that we can compare different places. We can compare different cities with the same methodology, different formats. And really interesting, for regional planning, most of your advertisers, most of your clients don't think on Ukraine, they think on Europe. They don't think on Taiwan, they think on Asia Pacific, on Africa. They need the same metrics across all countries or regional countries. So what? So what this guy has come here and say about FBI, what he's talking about? What is all this about? The idea is finally, we have a very simple to understand, really complex on beneath that, but a very simple way that any media owner, even if you are big or small, or any media buyer, can finally understand how good is his billboard, or his urban shelter, or its building. So with that, finally we can show that. So this is the success. This is the ROI. This is the improvement that we have to bring to the industry. And it's there, I mean, we are doing it already in many other countries. So this is how we think that we can help to this ROI. That will mean that thanks to big data, what we expect to do is really increase the market share. You will become as cool as internet. You will become as fast and targetable and accurate and predictable and forecast as internet. So that will really mean more money for the industry. And basically, that's it. Thank you very much. Again, thank you for being here and inviting me. It's really been a pleasure. Thanks.